What are surprising cultural differences in accountability? Imagine a world where responsibility is seen very differently depending on where you are. That is what makes understanding accountability across cultures so fascinating. It's not just about who is to blame or who should answer for what. It's about how societies view responsibility itself. In many Western countries, accountability is all about the individual. People are expected to own their actions and face the consequences directly. If someone makes a mistake, they are seen as personally responsible and should be transparent about it. This approach aligns with political systems that emphasize personal rights and democratic participation. Leaders and citizens alike are answerable for their decisions, and accountability is often clear-cut. Now, in some non-Western cultures, the idea shifts from individual to collective responsibility. Here, responsibility is shared among groups like families, communities, or organizations. Instead of pointing fingers at one person, accountability is seen as a group effort. This can mean that blame is less about punishing someone and more about maintaining harmony within the group. Communication tends to be more indirect, and responsibility is often mediated through social relationships rather than explicit statements. Ethical standards also differ widely. In some cultures, transparency and openness are highly valued, making accountability straightforward. But in others, protecting the reputation of the group or maintaining discretion is more important. This can make it tricky for leaders working across cultures because what's seen as honest and responsible in one place might be viewed as overly blunt or even rude in another. Communication styles play a big role too. Cultures that favor direct and clear language support straightforward accountability. If someone makes a mistake, it's openly discussed and addressed. But in cultures where communication is more subtle or nuanced, responsibility might be hidden or implied, which can make it harder to identify who is truly accountable. Political environments also influence these cultural differences. In societies where people feel empowered and believe they can influence change, accountability tends to focus on individual rights. But in places where people feel less in control, accountability can become a collective demand, often driven by frustrations about fairness or justice. Bringing all this together, these cultural differences show that accountability isn't a one-size-fits-all idea. It's shaped by deep-rooted ethical beliefs, communication styles, and political contexts. For leaders and public servants working in diverse environments, understanding these differences is key. It helps build trust, avoid misunderstandings, and create systems that respect local norms while upholding core principles of fairness and responsibility. So, the surprising part is how varied accountability can be from one culture to another. It's not just about who is responsible, but how responsibility is understood, communicated, and enforced. Recognizing these differences helps us see that accountability is a flexible concept, shaped by the values and social structures of each society.